Hello, y'all. I'm back. So it's daytime. I guess because it's daytime, I can be physically seen a whole lot better than at nighttime, and I even have the lamp on, so it's much brighter, and y'all can see my face. Well, it's now 1:39 p.m. and I not long ago ate a little bit of something. I just had the last of the little cups of microwavable macaroni and cheese and two spoonfuls of peanut butter. Um, so I don't know. Later on, I'm planning to I'm planning to hopefully work on some ebooks. I'm sorry, work on a few short stories, and I'm planning on working on a few short stories. So I'm feeling a little scared right now because um there was a fly in my room, and me trying to kill it, I was, the 91% alcohol was sprayed on and kill it instantly. But as many years as I've been doing this, even as far back as living in Los Angeles, um, I actually, like, when I sprayed the alcohol trying to chase after the fly, I mad because I accidentally got some on my hair, but my hair, it's like I don't want to have to get it cut again, you know. And then people would treat me with extra abuse because of my short hair. And it's like, wow, well, you don't treat men with long hair, you don't treat them mean. But it seems like if I cut all my hair off, the gang stalking and the perking and abuse from society gets way worse. So, I feel like it's not fair, for me to walk around with damaged and ruined hair. I wish I can just grow it out untainted and grow it out freely without damage. So, when I was spraying and chasing after the fly, um, I unintentionally, accidentally got a little bit in my mouth from the spray. And then, from when I sprayed it, just a little bit like in my mouth. And then I didn't swallow it, but I rinsed it off as much as I could. And then, yeah, I, it's like as much as I try to rinse it out my mouth, and then it seemed like as if the alcohol taste was still on my mouth though. Um, but it's like, and I tried that, I hate that the fact that the air conditioner is automatic. So I had to, inhale the fumes, but I try to put the air conditioner or heater or whatever on, and it works when it wants to work. They have an auto button, but even if it's not on auto, it still turns off and on at its own when it wants to, not at my control. Unless I press the off button. But so I try to air out what I could, and it's like, I don't know. I feel like I've called the like past situations of, like it was a few months ago. You know how like I was had forgot that I had hand sanitizer on my hands and accidentally and unintentionally ate something, and then like I had to call the poison control, but they told me that I was going to be fine. So with this right here, I'm trying to not worry and hoping that I'm fine. Um, my mouth, like, it's still mild. I mean, I guess after I ate, it doesn't taste anything. I mean, it doesn't taste anymore. But you know, I'm hoping, I think I'll be all right. But I'm clumsy. I know I'm clumsy. I'm very clumsy. But like me trying to chase after the fly, and I accidentally opened my mouth, and like, this is the first time that happened, because all the times in Los Angeles I had to deal with so many flies, and even in Greenville, South Carolina, Denton, Texas, and all that. But I didn't realize the trick. You have to spray it, like, with the 91%. The 70% is not good enough. The 91% alcohol, if you succeed at spraying the fly on contact, that's when they die. They'll get killed. But I think I heard somewhere that somebody said that if you just all of a sudden out of nowhere got a whole bunch of flies in your house. I heard some people say that's part of witchcraft too, but I'm not 100% sure, because I don't know that much about witchcraft tactics or anything like that. you know and I don't want to learn any rituals or anything like that either. But I would love to know what's being done to me, was like, because I feel like what I'm going through feels like as if somebody cursed my entire life. So, and I think it was more than one person. I thought it was just that, somebody just cursed me with, somebody just cursed me, and which that might be true too. But I think I want to go as far as to say it is true. Somebody cursed me, um, with this forced life that I don't want to live. And I thought it was just a personal thing, but I didn't realize it was a whole damn government. I've been this like the third time today. Sorry, y'all. I don't even know. I mean, if I should even call the poison control center, or if I should just or if I'm gonna be all right. But I realized that that exposed gang stalking website. I'm still reading and learning, like, for me, getting to familiarizing myself with the whole website. I think that's one of the realest and the best gang stalking websites that's out there. I also love the Citizens AHT website too. But I have zero respect for targeted justice because of what they did to me. Um, and it's funny how the fake TI perps are a lot of the ones who have expert knowledge on gang stalking or whatever, but then the popular fakes, and yet they play both sides, um, living a double life pretty much. But damn, like, so I make the decision to choose Jesus Christ. I make the free will decision to want to choose Jesus Christ. And you know, as I said before, now that I know what this gang stalking program is about, it's a battle with fighting for the will to live. Because they trying to, that they trying very hard to try to, make you do it yourself, to off yourself. And they think they're superior or higher and better than you. So yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think I'm all right. I think I'll be all right. Um, so yeah, I just kind of scared because I never really, I haven't had that happen to me before. But I rinsed out as much as I can, and it seemed like the the taste was still on my mouth. Um, wow. But I don't know. I think I'll be all right though. And I really feel. I mean, I really feel bad because a lot of the times in 2017, I had to being sleep deprived, I nearly choked on food quite a few times. Nearly, not exactly, but nearly choked or accidentally swallowed like bigger piece of food, not chewing, like accidentally didn't chew it all the way, being sleep deprived. But I'm still feeling the deprived feeling, even though I slept very well, pretty good last night, cause they're called white kidney beans or cannelli beans or um navy beans or something like that, or Peruvian beans. Got several names for this one bean, and they seem like they helped me sleep pretty good. Plus, I had the little detox soap bath, so they those beans helped me sleep good. And speaking of beans, don't y'all know that? I mean, there's a such thing as pink beans, but guess what? When I was living in Los Angeles and I went to Whole Foods on, is it Third and Fairfax or Third? Yeah, I, I think it's Third and Fairfax in Los Angeles. I don't think it's Third and La Brea because La Brea, Third and La Brea. I think that's where the Trader Joe's is. Hold on, they gotta do their job. Third and La Brea is ooh, Third and La Brea is where the Trader Joe's is. But then again, on Third and Fairfax, I think there's another Trader Joe's across, like adjacent or diagonal from the Whole Foods. So at that Whole Foods on Third and Fairfax in Los Angeles, um, in, in Los Angeles, Third and Fairfax, that's where the Whole Foods is. And one time, I saw black these beans that were black and pink swirl beans. I don't know what kind of beans they're called though. Let me try to see if I can. Uh, hold on, I'm coming. Let me try to see what kind of beans these are. Yeah, I never saw these before. What are they called? So what kind of beans are they called? Well, you Well, it was a different kind because it was this. Excuse me. It, the ones that being shown on Google look like excuse me. They look like black and pink speckled kind of red beans, but that's not the beans though. And I also tried cranberry beans too. Yeah, I can't. Hmm. I wouldn't want to say turtle beans, but there's some kind of beans. It's interesting. Yeah, I just wanted to share that with y'all. Um, wait a minute. Somebody talking about on Twitter gray beans. I never saw gray beans. Anyway, yeah, I couldn't find the beans. These, I guess they're called scarlet runner beans or something. But they're pretty. But I never saw. I can't find the exact looking beans on Google. But um, those were the prettiest beans I've ever seen. And I think once they got cooked, they were straight up black. Um, but living in Los Angeles, I saw a whole bunch of different exotic stuff and fruits and vegetables and certain foods that I never even heard of, like bison meat, elk meat. Well, I was in Greenville, South Carolina when I tried elk meat for the first time, and I would like to be interested in trying different exotic meats and stuff. But I mean, I just always wondered why the government wanted you to be mind controlled into these same four, like chicken, pork, beef, and fish, and you'd be lucky if you get some turkey, duck, and they don't have those in mainstream grocery stores. But in Greenville, South Carolina, I came across and I had duck eggs and turkey eggs for the first time in my life. And I also had, well, I think I was in Los Angeles when I had quail and hen, like Cornish hen, quail, and but Louisiana people, they're not just New Orleans, but Louisiana are pretty much hunter kind of people. The fact that they'll eat, they'll shoot up anything and cook it. I never eaten it, but and I don't want it. Like I'm not interested in eating everything wild, but I've heard about people who eat squirrels, skunk, uh, armadillo, nutria rats. Uh, the now that I won't go that far, and I won't eat rattlesnake either. But I've had alligator, turtle, rabbit, um, deer meat or venison and stuff like that. Elk meat, bison, and in the grocery stores, everything is so controlled. Where, like in the grocery stores, everything is controlled enough that there's even a limit on different fishes. But at the fish place in Los Angeles, there were fishes I never even heard of, like red snapper and buffalo fish and whiting and all kinds of different fish. But the fish I knew and growing up, trout and catfish, like crab, crawfish, snow crab, stone crab, stuff like that. Oh damn! I remind myself of Bubba from Forrest Gump, talking about shrimp stew, shrimp and potato, and all that. That's what I remind myself of. Of course, we know shrimp and lobster, all that. So I never heard of red snapper until I got to and buffalo fish and all that until I got to Los Angeles. And swai, I don't like that kind of fish because it tastes like rubber. I mean, the texture is like rubber. And the other name for swai, I don't remember. What's the other name for it? But of course, you know, there's a lot of tilapia. And in Los Angeles, you can buy one whole tilapia for $1. So, like around Lent time, tilapia in Los Angeles would be like 99 cents a pound, and it's plentiful. I don't celebrate Lent. I'm not Catholic, but around that time, it's been a lot of tilapia. But I heard that tilapia is not really healthy. So it seems like the natural health people, they buy salmon and stuff like that, for the rich folks. The only salmon I can afford is maybe canned. I feel like I'm breaking my pockets if I go to Zoe's Mediterranean Kitchen, Zoe's. And if I order a salmon kebab, I can't really afford it. So it's very rare for me to go, to Zoe's. Can't afford it that really, But I love their limeade. Limeade? Not lemonade, but limeade. So, like in Los Angeles, I heard of stuff like fava beans and kohlrabi. Not until Greenville, South Carolina was the first time I heard of muscadine. Or, like the wild grape muscadine. I love the muscadine and muscadine jelly. But back then, I used to hate grape jelly. And I still hate strawberry and grape flavored things and blueberry flavored things. But now I eat and appreciate fresh, raw strawberries, blueberries, raspberries, grapes. I used to hate okra, but now I love it. Still have zero tolerance for eggplant and tomato. Except if it's barbecue or ketchup or tomato paste or tomato sauce. And I hate diced tomatoes and stuff like that too. So any pureed tomato, I tolerate that. But juice, like fresh pressed juice, like from the tomato, I can tolerate that flavor as well. But one thing I hate, papaya. Do not like papaya. I hate papaya as much as I hate, I hate papaya as much as I hate, I hate papaya as much as I hate eggplant and tomatoes. And, so people will lose their mind over eggplant parmesan, but you won't, not me, won't catch me losing my mind over eggplant parmesan. But I love regular parmesan, like chicken parmesan or something, or veal parmesan is the ultimate best. But if you love veal, you have to watch out for the fake vegetarians wanting to stampede you, pretty much. They will eat you up like the wolves if they find out you eat veal. But they don't have that same kind of compassion and love towards their fellow human. That's how you know they're New Agers. But I love like when I was going to like elementary school and stuff, they would always serve like the breaded veal and the yellow rice. I used to love that. And I think I was in New York last time I got to try the breaded veal. But like if I had my own place and we just got this check, I would have been buying stuff like ground bison at the store and stuff like that, or veal and turkey breasts, trying to be different. So, and not Jenny O. So usually I can eat Jenny O turkey, like the ground turkey and all that. But I don't know. When I was in Greenville, South Carolina, I didn't realize it was the electronic attacks. But I thought I blamed it on, my need to go to the emergency room and heart palpitations and feeling quick flashes of overheat. I didn't realize that was the dual weapons and electronic harassment. So I thought that, that's what I thought. I thought that I traced my experiences back to, you know, the turkey. But I'm like, I've eaten this turkey before. Why can't I eat it now? But then I realized, it has to do with the, the electronic harassment and stuff like that. Excuse me. So now I have another video uploading already on my phone. And my plan is to write some short stories today. And try to pick myself back up and feel motivated. It's, how hard it was, because I was laying in bed this morning and feeling like all kinds of thoughts running through my head. Just still feeling defeated. But I had to remind myself that these abusive human beings are not God. They are not Lord over me. You're not my handler. In Satan's world, if I didn't consent for you to be my handler, but in Satan's world, yeah. If I were to follow Satan, then you can be my handler. But I'm not following Satan. So I'm following Jesus. I want to follow Jesus. So I'm trying to better myself and trying to improve my life and stuff like that. And also, tell short stories based on things that I can relate to. And I really have fun with it. But, it's like no matter what I do, people will have something to say. If they think I always whine and complain on every video. But it's the perps and the fake TI perps saying that because they don't like being exposed. That's all that is. But I'm trying to, feel more motivated now. Trying to feel more motivated. But anything good that I do is always shut down. Narcissistic abusers and perps, gang stalking perps, the narcissistic abusers and gang stalking perps, they get mad at me for talking about things that make me happy, and that's a topic that's supposed to be forbidden and off limits, or else I'm starting an argument. But then they'll try to tell me I'm too negative, energy draining, and complain too much, and I'm just full of negativity, and that I'm just a very miserable human being, a miserable, hopeless human being, But they never try to encourage me or whatever. But if all they do is sit around and gossip and talk shit about me all day or other people all day, and then if I try to tell them a great experience that happened at the, I don't even have to get in the water, but if I can tell a great experience that I had at Venice Beach on the boardwalk, yeah, you walk away and say, oh, I don't want to hear it. And then people are like, well, why? Oh, because she's so negative. I'm like, but I wasn't even being negative. I'm telling you about a great experience that I had, but they don't want to hear that either. Or they want to cut the conversation. But they just want to keep that image on, keeping me down, or, like as if narcissistic abusers and the mentally slow, crazy biological family, you know, think they have the authority to condemn me for going swimming because I like it. I'm not allowed to talk about Spanish, not allowed to talk about swimming, not allowed to talk about food, not allowed to talk about natural health, not allowed to talk about Jesus, not allowed to talk about the Bible, not allowed to talk about this gang stalking. Like, they act like they think they have the authority to police and control what subjects I talk about. Like, they think they have the power and the authority to force muzzle me and try to, handle me like a rag doll. And, just put it in their mind that Candy Grandpre is not human. But then they'll elevate a cat or a dog. So yeah, the other video still uploading. But I've been wrestling with myself mentally. Let me double check. Hold up. Oof. I have just enough money to do 11 days here. But I would have like $4 or $5 left over for the rest of the month. I haven't paid it yet, but I'm like, that would be foolish. Well, I wouldn't want to call myself foolish, but even for me to be off the streets and out of the cold and away from the rain, if possible, but then to have no laundry or no money for laundry, and like no money for laundry, and no money for food. So therefore I couldn't do the whole 11 days past the 21st. I wish I had a permanent solution to my situation. So therefore I would have to do less days than 11. Maybe like 5 or 6 more days, and then have enough money for laundry and food, because I need to do laundry again. It's about that time, and I try to stretch my clothes. The clothes that I have, I try to stretch my clothes. So I think the last time I actually went grocery shopping was, excuse me, the last time I went to grocery shopping was a little over a week ago. So maybe was that January 7th? Well, the day I had that interview was the last day I think I remember going grocery shopping. And that was the last time I went grocery shopping. And when I had that altercation on the bus with that man. So yeah. So I guess maybe after the 26th, I for sure am gonna have to be back on the streets. Wait a minute, let me think. Because I have to try to do it to where It's not Sunday because there's no transportation on Sunday unless cab, like spending more money on cab. So, and then the reason why I wouldn't want to have to check out on a Friday or a Saturday is because of that the perp lady up there. So that lady, I need to stay far away from her. So trying to avoid her. So I need to like have at least a minimum of 3 days in order to get the rate, and then I have to do between Monday and Thursday on a day to make sure that I check out on between Monday and Thursday to avoid that perp lady. So because the idea of people are that dangerous and scary that they're narcissistic enough or sociopathic enough that just a simple conversation with them, they would get smart ass and disrespectful and try to set you up to get purposely be like a difficult asshole on purpose to set you up to get frustrated and then have you hauled away and locked up in a mental institution while they kick back and laugh, ignorantly laugh. Excuse me. So yeah, it's like I have to watch certain people or try to avoid certain people and avoid trouble as much as possible. I hardly even, I always been a loner and the type to stay to myself and stuff like that. And, the fake TI perps and the regular perps, they'll make, or some people who are ignorant and don't know the tactics of gang stalking, they'll be the type of person who will falsely accuse you of just running up on somebody. But as I said, you don't know what offense happened just before I put them on film because it would take just a split second. So it's a battle every day to try to keep your soul and stay alive as a real targeted individual. It really is. Because that's what they're after. To try to get you to two different ways to commit suicide. So it seemed like, you're not going to jump, I'm sorry, you're not going to turn me. So I refuse to be part of the New World Order. And I don't, you know what? I'm at peace with being called. I mean, it no longer really offends me to be called crazy nowadays. Because I say crazy people tell the truth. The sane people are liars, compulsive and habitual liars. Want to keep up the narcissistic abusers who care too much about image rather than just authenticity. But then they think that being showy is what makes them real, pure, and honest. They think that having a temper is false proof that they're real. That the fact that they get, frustrated easily. I mean, they have their illogical reasons on what makes them real. So, despite what I went through yesterday, I'm feeling excited to want to write some more today. I don't know why I'm feeling held back on working on a big fiction book. But the big fiction book, of course, is fiction, so it's not the truth. It's not physical true stories that happen, but it's a fictional story based on true things that do happen to people every day. And you would think that, oh, this is impossible. Well, not impossible, but possible. But I wish I could I mean, one thing that's keeping, I mean, I know I've been here since November and had a whole bunch of things held over my head, so many interruptions, so many crises and stuff like that, and sleep deprivation as well, and everything just holding me back. But I know I've been over here over a month, and thank y'all for the help again. Plus, the stimulus check helped too, because if I got no stimulus check, I would have had to go back on the streets in the cold in 30 something degree weather, because I said that there are more nights this year than last year that are, because I mean, because that cold weather shelter, I can count on my hands how many times last year or last winter I can count on my fingers how many days was under 40 degrees. But they said that was the coldest day of the year. And so-called Christians who are narcissistic abusers, who are highly narcissistic and perping people, they wait till they are that sociopathic and cruel that they wait till that day to set me up and, hike up an argument on purpose to justify kicking me out. But then any other like if I were to tell any family or foster mom, well, I ain't got to tell her, but their kind of response is, you're the one who started, you're the troublemaker, and you need to learn how to take responsibility for your actions. But narcissistic abusers themselves, they abuse and do cruelty, and then they don't have to take responsibility for their actions. But they act like they have a license to be a hypocrite. But then if I did or say something hypocritical, they want the whole world to know that I deserve to be called out. I'm pretty sure we all had our hypocritical moments, or, moments where we didn't realize we were even being a hypocrite. But they do that purposely. Tell me not to research Illuminati, but they do it. Well, there's hardly much any, like, you can't even, it's like, they really got rid of the real ones, because now you definitely can't find any, like, you Google search Illuminati on YouTube, and with their algorithms and shadow banning, it'll be the mainstream news, like BuzzFeed or something, talking about conspiracy theories. And I'm like, damn, where's the real truth? None of my family ever told me. They never mentioned the phrase conspiracy theories, but the fake foster family, like the foster sister Hellface Shelley, her husband Greedy Dykes Brian, or her fag wife Brian, try to freaking bully, harass, and lecture me about researching conspiracy theories. And then they the ones be brainwashed and then try to tell, like, they would be the type of people who would try to bully, harass, and lecture you about slave mentality when you're the ones trying to free their asses from the slavery of watching, the mind control slavery of watching football, worshiping football. I've had done some things and made some mistakes out of not knowing and out of ignorance. And then you try to just share the truth with them, not being judgmental. But then family try to fight back, foster or biological family, they'd be like, oh, you did this too, or you did that too. Or there was a point in time when you wasn't worshiping Jesus, or that you didn't believe in Jesus. But, you try to get the truth to them. I'm like, you're the one who put these beliefs in my head. That you were that coercive and controlling. But I just wish I don't think that everybody's a control freak or everybody's trying to, police my life or anything like that. But it certainly is a mass amount of them. And I just want to be free. And whether I'm compliant with the program or not, you still oppress me. I was taking the medicine, the psychiatric medicine that spiritually God would have said I'm not supposed to take that medicine. But I was supposed to take that, according to them, I was supposed to take that medicine. I took that medicine faithfully the way I was supposed to take it. Y'all are not Lord over my life. I refuse to obey and follow somebody who cares nothing about me, who respects me, who has zero respect for me, who wants to keep me down, and who just, waiting for my soul to perish. And they hate me so much that if they had to be God, I would go, me existing on the face of this earth is just a whole blasphemy against the Holy Spirit. I know I'm not crazy, but y'all were trying to turn me crazy, trying to. But I turned out to break free from the programming and, be wiser and more intelligent than y'all were expecting. And that's why y'all treated me like a retarded baby, because, to cover up y'all dirty deeds on what y'all were trying to prepare for me. And it's like I lost out on a lot in life, behind a lot of good things in life, behind narcissistic abuse and control and this gang stalking. So that's the thing. I just can't believe. That's one of the best things I came across. That exposing gang stalking website. That's the best thing I came across. So this is, I knew that people were trying to do that. So people think, oh, Candy don't want to get out of Florida. I have a right to live in what city and state that I want to. Shucks, I'm kicked out of my own hometown. I thought that I remember hearing people say that Jesus was even kicked out of his own, out of his own hometown. And he was even forced, some people try to debate on whether or not the idea that Jesus was homeless, but it does sound like he was homeless. And he even encouraged his disciples to pretty much forsake everything and follow him. So I'm trying to reprogram in a good way and change my mind, against being bitter and upset about not having a car or not driving, because the thought is just stuck in my head about the foster mom saying that only mature people with sense, people who are mature with sense, only they drive. And even I was 22 years old and had my own car, and the foster mom still, I guess once I got my car, she couldn't take that from me. But she still was trying to claim my car as her car. Because she figured that my car was her car because it's on what she claims to be her property. Because Danielle from the Kraft family, just like Danielle, who's now deceased, she was the one who told, in front of me and Brandy's face, she told Joni that, about the $394 Social Security check. Joni acted like she didn't care. And the foster mom was getting that money, taking that money from Joni. Because I think after Al died, I heard that Al actually, like the Kraft family, they know more secrets about, they even know about me they know more about me than I know about myself. The foster mom's decisions on, how to deal with us and how to handle us. And, they know all about, more than I know about the supposed adoption that was supposed to have taken place when we were 9 years old. So, if the foster mom secretly adopted us behind our back or something like that. But anyway, just like Danielle told Joni Lejeune Felder, just like Danielle told Joni about you know, just because just like, I'm sorry, I'm fighting out unwanted thoughts, but just like Danielle told Joni about the Social Security checks, she also told Joni about that house was Joni's house, and that house was in Joni's name. And I'm like, well, I mean, I know Al himself was close with John Kraft, and like my twin sister told me that John Kraft was the one who told her that the foster mom secretly adopted us behind our back. But see, Brandy was always more able to be trusted with secrets than me, you know. And I'm not just, airing out all my personal business, but this is part of the whatever mind control and gang stalking, and their hidden dirty secrets. But if I'm crying out for help and telling about my situation, nobody want to hear it. But if other people are talking bad about me, everybody's glad to chime in and give fake support. Like they have a lot of, you're the new Trump now with all the Trump supporters. So, if your name is Sebastian, all the Sebastian supporters. But the perps try to make it like as if you're of no value. You are of no importance. Nobody's paying attention to you. Nobody's worried about you. And then the whole time, like I feel like as if I'm waking up out of a coma or a trance or something. Like, wait a minute. I'm not that crazy. I'm not crazy after all. What a relief. They brainwashed me. But I know my movements seem kind of, crippled up and retarded and certain kind of weird. From whatever foster care and experimentation. Plus, I think strokes or no strokes, I think that probably would end up, my movements and everything being a little weird or kind of different. Or what people will say crippled up and retarded. But I was forced to believe that I'm retarded and mentally slow and crazy, but I no longer believe that I'm mentally slow, retarded, and crazy. It's like I was supposed to be forced to accept this. But I seem like a lot of people have, and then you come at them with the truth, and they tell you that you have a distorted viewpoint of reality. And you try to tell a narcissistic abuser the truth, and they're the first to try to shut down conspiracy theories. And they want to mention about how silly you sound talking so much about conspiracy theories. But none of my biological family ever mentioned, that phrase conspiracy theories or conspiracy theorists. But they didn't want to hear it. They didn't want to hear the truth. And they love living a lie while just pretending like, putting on that fake image like they're just good people. But, they'll try to make it like as if I think I'm better because I'm a Christian and don't want to do those things anymore. And then they try to manipulate you into going back into whatever old sins you had with a deceitful looking smile on their face, or try to perp you with your old sins, trying to use your old sins against you and try to perp you with it. And then you tell them you don't want to do that no more. And then they get mad, and then you get into an argument, and then there's a mental health crisis there. So I'm wondering if I might have to wait all the way until Monday to get laundry done. because the lady who will work in the afternoon or the lady who will work on weekends can't get quarters. So I need to find a way to get some quarters. And then I probably can do it before Monday. But I've been trying to stretch my clothes. And that's why you might see me wear the same clothes for like 3 days. Um, but I would prefer to, to wear get to shower every day now I have the opportunity. But me trying to stretch my money, the money that I do have, me trying to stretch it, what I got to do. Plus, I've been, dealing with it, like being forced to go a week with no bath. But then after that, I'll go crazy. And out of desperateness, I go to the beach, and then I have to deal with ball scratching Freemasons and stuff like that, wanting to watch me. And it seems like I hate this world that everybody's just a fake actor or actress nowadays. Hardly anybody's authentic and real. And it's how the fake actors and fake actresses in society who put on a charade. Those are the main people who I don't know how and why they are the main people who try to control others. And then they try to blend in with us, like the terrorists amongst the weak. And then, like, they try to verbally convince you that they're an empath too. But then their fruits show that they are in wolf in sheep's clothing. And then it seems like they're so charismatic and pretty much charming and smooth and slick talking with their Bible scriptures and stuff like that. And then they reverse it on you and say that you're the one who's manipulative. I don't even have that skill to manipulate or be successful at manipulating people. But that's the smear campaign that they'll make about you, and then you just tell the truth, and they reverse it on you and lie and say that you're manipulating and telling a smear campaign. And it feels like an unwinnable battle, like as if I can never win. They always got the upper hand. And then they try to bully and frighten and scare you into fear and submission and obedience to people when they don't deserve it. If I'm nobody special, then neither are you. Or they think we're a narcissist for being real targeted individuals because they wonder, why the hell would the government be interested in you? Well, ask the government that. I'm on the terrorist watch list. And then, people try to falsely accuse me of being capable of, going into a crazy fit and blowing up things. I don't even have access to, blowing up, and neither do I have interest in anything like explosive or anything like that. But that's funny because they call us the terrorists and we're on this terrorist watch list, but they'll do stuff like set our cars and houses or whatever, our property on fire. And they're the ones, doing all this. They're the ones who are doing the true, like the gang stalkers. They're the ones who are doing the actual domestic terrorism. Spy and snitch. But I'm just thankful to be free. I think I'm free. Because I don't want any handlers. You're not my handler. I don't want to eat coochie. I don't want a whole bunch of penises shoved up my coochie. I don't want, the weird stuff that they do in Hollywood. Hollywood is like the whole world now. When you thought only celebrities can be Freemasons and part of secret societies and stuff, no, it's in your local community. So, excuse me. Sorry, these burps. So, yeah, I've been having urges but fears at the same time to want to like download a certain app and order food. But I'm scared because of what happened with Uber Eats. That was bizarre. Um, I mean, I feel like a little traumatized by that. But then again, I'm saving money. That didn't last for very long because I think I only did Uber Eats one day ordering food. Or was it 2 days? 1 or 2 days ordering food. No, I think it was one day ordering food. And I'm like, never again. And I think I rode in an Uber like maybe 4 times. So, yeah, I mean, I'm scared to download an app and order food and then something weird happens. And then be, told that I deserve it or something like that. Or I was the fool. But at the same time, I'm just not mentally, what's the word? I don't know, I guess ready. I was going to use a different word, but not mentally ready to go back out and, out in public. Even if it's a block away, I'm just not ready to deal with perping and harassment. But, it seems like as if I'm defenseless against bullies and abusive people. So it's like I don't even want to go out, but at the same time, I'm scared to order food. But I'm low on food, very low on food. But I have the money to get some food, but I'm just scared to go out or scared to have food ordered. Even though I ordered food a few days ago, but it's just kind of, I don't know, just feeling scared and trying to keep my sanity and just don't feel like getting into an argument with somebody or being high stress like I was yesterday or having any additional um, anger and upset. And it's like, I think I was trying to talk last night about me thinking of um, alternative ways. I mean, if there's any way, if there's the threat of the internet being shut down, how could I deal, or what other ways other than reading the Bible and praying, to cope with, the gang stalking and being angry and upset and having panic attacks? I mean, some people say, well, go for a walk, listen to your favorite music. But in my case, I can't listen to my favorite music because if I listen to my favorite music, then I end up having increased unwanted thoughts. And I even have increased unwanted thoughts when I read the Bible too, but I know I got to do it. And it's like, as if I'm not allowed or not wanted to read the Bible. Or even unwanted thoughts come in while I'm praying. And that's why I can't even reveal my unwanted intrusive thoughts. I think I did talk about them last year, a few months ago, in one video on my other channel. But I know I even realized and recognized that the unwanted intrusive thoughts, that they're not my free will. That's why they call unwanted and intrusive and bothersome, uninvited. But I can't tell a mental health nurse or anything like that because they'll try to say that, hurt me and falsely, in reverse, they try to falsely accuse me of having delusional fantasies that I would like to fulfill. And I'm like, damn. But now I have the answer that unwanted and intrusive thoughts come from Satan. But also, some people, a different perspective is, you know, with the remote neural monitoring or something like that, unwanted intrusive thoughts projected or implanted into your head. If I have a Tourette's episode, I end up, if I have a Tourette's episode, I end up, being falsely accused of being demon possessed, or falsely accused of, and by the perps, being falsely accused of being demon possessed or yelling at different people. But I end up twitching and jerking, being like, you motherfucker, you're stupid, you're fucking stupid. Well, it's been a while since I had, one of those Tourette's episodes. And it's like involuntary and uncontrollable. I have no control over it. And a lot of times it comes on when I'm sleep deprived or when I haven't had sleep. But I'm awake and I am aware of all my surroundings, but just have no self-control. And some people might, falsely assume it's a seizure. It's not a seizure either. Hold up. It's not a seizure either. But, well, they say it would be a nervous tick. I got my earphones in, so I'm sorry for any outside noise. But I hate how, I don't know, it's very hard to not get mad at when you unintentionally do make a mistake and then you're falsely accused of doing it on purpose. Or intentionally try to, ruin destroy yourself. I'm just so sick and tired of, fake psychology and, psych games, fake psychology games and stuff like that. And they act like these narcissistic abusers, they act like they think that they're all, they act like they think they're all experts on stuff that they barely know nothing about. They just want to, sound like they think they know it all. Like, be like, yeah, look at your body language. Like, motherfucker, look at your eyes. You're the one walking around with vacant, dead eyes. And you're talking about my body language? So, I just feel disappointed, a lot of stuff that's been hidden from me for so many years. And it's like other twins be together, do everything together, love each other like normal. But the idea that the foster family manufactured such an idea of one twin being superior to the other and us not getting along, that witchcraft plus mind control. And they said that cults rewire your brain and narcissistic abuse rewires your brain. The foster mom herself her household was a cult. She was the cult leader. And I heard that big old house is not, that house is not her name, and it's not in her name, but she claims it as her house. But I don't know all the details about that. It's just things I heard. So, it's like, how come gang stalking perps can make remarks? People in different cities and states who I don't have to contact, it's okay for them to make remarks about my personal business, but I can't tell my own personal business. And then they'll twist it and give their altered, fake, lying version of what they think is going on in my life and in my head and my mind and everything. Or they'll try to, twist and manipulate and falsely accuse me of going around scamming and trying to get over on people when that's never been in my character, ever. And it's like I don't even have the skill or the ability. The foster mom keeping us overly sheltered is the reason why I'm, ignorant to a lot of things. Stuff that, everyday people know. I can't tell you one thing about the law or, criminal justice. All I know is if you do wrong, you're supposed to go to jail, but not in the gang stalking world. Because, shucks, people get put, you want to know, let me tell y'all some different reasons people can put on, people can be, this is the terrorist watch list is very real. Let me tell y'all these reasons why people could be put on a terrorist watch list. I don't hurt nobody, but you hurt me, but I'm the terrorist. Harmless Christians are a threat to society, a danger to society. But the ones who break every law are, given a pat on the back and high five. It's just twisted and backwards. It reminds me of the scripture of, I think it's Isaiah 5:20. So, I never came off as having an attitude of a self-righteous Christian or thinking that I'm better than you. Because it's like, my big dream is to be able to share the truth of the things that I research and stuff with people, like, want to help, not force or make them, but, at least share and help liberate. I mean, I know I'm not the chief person and not the, I don't have all the information, but, share with them that I do, things that I do know that could be helpful. Like I hate how I have certain knowledge of certain things, but I guess it's part of my disability is and certain lack of resources is the reason why I have a difficult time trying to apply this knowledge. Like with certain natural health and survival and stuff like that. It's the, pretty much with natural health and survival and stuff like that. And my reading comprehension, I've always struggled with that. But it's funny how if I had difficulty with writing skills or reading skills, and here I'm writing certain books, and I wish I had a way to get to stay here even at least until the rest of the month. And that way I can be able to concentrate and focus better on my books and get more rest and more sleep if I can't sleep at night. And I've been trying to practice to go to bed earlier. I'm talking about trying to go to sleep earlier, actual sleep earlier. Because my preferred and desired routine is to go to bed at 10, then wake up like 8 o'clock in the morning. Well, I've been suffering of sleep deprivation. But I was able to sleep good last night, but trying to sleep a little more later on today and just couldn't go back to sleep. Still feeling the pressure on my chest and the deprived feeling. But I wanted to pursue writing for being my own author for many years, but just didn't know how to go about doing it. And I didn't know, not with just being an author, but for many years, I didn't know there's a such thing as independent publishing. And then when I found out later on, I didn't know where I could have gone. Well, I didn't know about independent publishing. I didn't know about let's see, I didn't know about independent publishing. I didn't know about self-employment. I never even heard of such a thing. Me sitting around all these years waiting for people to hire me, but of course, filling out lots of applications and be ignored, largely ignored. So now it looks like once you're made homeless, the only way I can get a job is if I sell out, or if if they want to offer me these deals. So I've warned y'all before. Y'all don't take me seriously. Y'all think I'm playing. That, they want me to leave Florida. Now, why do you want me to leave Florida, the whole state of Florida? Well, you have a problem with me liking the beach. But guess what? I may be living in Pensacola, but I hardly even get to go, especially after COVID-19. I damn sure don't get the opportunity to go to the beach. And the beach buses weren't running pretty much all summer. What kind of, COVID-19 just ruined everything. Ruined everybody's life. I hate this new norm. This fake new norm. So, they want me out of Florida and will not take no for an answer, and then try to lure me in to human trafficking, or blood sacrifice. So I don't know your name, but you're the one who told me our first phone conversation that your name is DJ. So that's what I'm gonna go by. And then, for him to put up an account the same day, a brand new account, because I have that Voodoo Gods, the Watcher, I have that one blocked. And he has no videos on that channel. But I never seen him. He's younger than me, and I've seen somebody so abusive in my fucking, like psychologically and mentally abusive in my fucking life. So, the fact that just simply your words is just traumatizing and harsh. And I refuse to be abused and traumatized by somebody that's younger than me, and I'm an adult. I won't tolerate abuse from anybody, but damn it, it's worse. Make me feel worse when somebody that's younger than me trying to, treat me like a retarded baby with no sense, and I'm college educated. But people don't take that seriously. But if my own twin sister saying, well, Candy's refusing offers and people telling her to get out of Florida, well, y'all don't control where I live. And Candy refused people y'all not offering me help. Y'all want to try to offer me to sell out, trying to offer me deals and want me to be, human. We already being targeted and trafficked and exploited. And if gang stalking perps, they can film us all day. But then I deserve to be banned from businesses for exposing them, putting them on film. So the idea that my own twin sister's rolling with the gang stalkers, religiously watching all of my videos when I don't even have that time to watch all of hers, and nobody's instructed her to not watch my videos. So she called me up with two other people with this whatever conference call this morning. I do not do Google Duo. And as I said, she has things to say about videos that don't even pertain to her, or I'm not even talking about her. And she's proof that she's a perp. And her, I don't have any proof, but I highly speculate that Starbricker found my twin sister some kind of way. And that's how my twin sister was able to, access everything online. But I could be wrong. But my twin sister has all these strangers, oppressing me, and her defending strangers against her own twin sister. Other family members they worship and defend strangers against their own, relative. Now I'm just clearly not important, and family members can handpick who's related to them based on skin color or how much of a fake thug you can be. Still colorism in the family. And many years ago, I broke away from, the colorism thing. And I did a video talking about that. So, and nowadays, light skin is not even popular anymore. Light skin is not popular anymore. And if my twin sister was the type in 2010 to try to, when I visited there, try to manipulate and try to, blackmail me into going to a lesbian strip club, then, she'll be the type of person who try to manipulate me into taking a deal and selling out. Because she never had my best interest at heart. Ever. But me, it's like everything has to be reverse of what's real. And it seems like, as I said, I just wish that she would be open-minded and receptive to the truth. And I mean, I was trying to even get the truth to the biological mom, Frances, but the family blocked that off as well. But I'm not allowed to speak anything. But, I've said for years that my twin sister and the foster mom, I didn't realize it was narcissistic abuse, because, like, when I would be at the mental health counseling office and see red flags of an abusive partner, I'm like, well, why do my twin sister and the foster mom have a lot of these same traits, except they're not my boyfriend or husband? But, I didn't realize that can be other relatives, family members, friends who can have that same kind of control in relationships. Because I don't go around trying to control people's money or control people's assets or try to tell people how to wear their hair, tell people how to dress. Even other biological family members, try to tell. It's like they ridicule and mock me and my twin sister about being raped, but at the same time, they think I'm weird because I don't wear slut clothes. I don't wear slut clothes and still get raped. But, the psychological and mental torment of being, the blame for why I was raped and then told, well, you weren't raped, or there's no such thing as that. A narcissistic abuser would be like, you can only get raped once. And after that, you put yourself in a position and you allow it and you deserve it. And you're not a victim. That really I'm stronger now. But back then, it used to drive me to want to off myself, pretty much, I didn't realize dealing with narcissistic abusers in society, and also you can deal with like church leaders and church members who have those same kind of red flags of a controlling partner kind of thing, but not in a relationship, but it's just their character and personality be trying to control you. A narcissistic control freak fake friend, a narcissistic control freak fake church member or something, who act like they dictate your life and trying to police your life decisions. Like you're incapable of thinking you're on your own. And I've had, forced to live off of SSI and Social Security, and even if I had Section 8 or whatever, having to deal with, I haven't asked people for anything, asking for money, or, people trying to make like I'm just this idle beggar, who's just lazy and crazy and don't want to do anything with my life. But y'all the same people who physically block me from any success in life and then blame me for the reason why it's my own fault that I'm a failure. And then they say you did it to yourself, boo boo. Or you hurt nobody but yourself. And I'm just tired of psychological, mental, and verbal abuse and all forms of abuse all my life. Because controlling your money, that's financial abuse. I mean, because I'm just appalled and shocked how the foster mom acting like she thought she was too perfect or better than perfect. Or, but behind closed doors, what satanic ritual or Masonic or satanic rituals she could have been doing behind our backs. Excuse me. She never treated us like a loving mother. She treated us like we were punished kids in detention. With the help of the fake social workers, the fake mental health psychiatrists and all that. Fraudster Chakraborty was also, part of the gang stalking and part of the programming. Because I heard that because of MK Ultra and Project Paperclip and stuff like that, after World War II, Operation Paperclip, those Germans smuggled into the U.S. after everybody thought they lost the war. Well, the Operation Paperclip and Project Paperclip, and then, American unsuspecting and unconsenting Americans being experimented on with the MK Ultra and drugging and whatever. So I remember reading that all psychiatrists are CIA trained. And guess what? I was in my senior year my senior year or junior year. I was in my senior year in high school. And I had a teacher named Miss Spada. And she was Americanized, but she was from Albania. And I think I remember she told us she was in the Navy. And she said that she used to work for the CIA. She used to work for the CIA. And then she said her job was a secret. And that she couldn't tell anybody what her job in the CIA is. When my twin sister that short time was in the military, she chose who to tell, but she told me that her job in the military was a secret, that she wasn't supposed to tell anybody what her job in the military is. So, the idea that me and my twin sister pretty much, the fact that my twin sister has to be pretty much a stranger. And she might be like, well, look at what you're doing. You airing out everybody. Whatever. Me exposing Masonic and satanic, whatever, cult secrets. Oh, you airing out everybody's personal business. How I'm supposed to trust you? But even years ago, you didn't trust nobody, the foster mom, everybody. Because when we were in elementary school, Brandy was the one. When we were kids, we didn't know no better. But she was the one who was considered the snitch that not to be trusted. And not only the snitch, but the one who will always lie on people. Like a couple of times, I think we were little, and she stole a popsicle out of the freezer and then lied on me and said I did it, and I got spanked. Oh, no, we didn't get spankings. We got beatings, brutal beatings. So the foster mom would take down our pants and underwear. Well, I don't know about her, but me. And I remember the daily whippings and beatings from being supposedly bad in school. But y'all were physically abusing and beating on us before we even made it to kindergarten. Why was I 4 years old waking up with bloody noses? Quite a few times. I wouldn't be in kindergarten at age 5 sitting in the classroom and just blood flowing out my nose. But I was 4, maybe 3. I don't know why I used to wake up with nosebleeds as a child. And this one red and white outfit that I would wear in kindergarten, that every time I wore it, my stomach hurt so bad I would cry and couldn't go. Yeah, they would have to force drag me to school. And none of my illnesses or sicknesses were taken seriously, and I would always get punished for being sick. And even, I caught my first, I'm going to say it, I caught my first period on exactly March 17th, 1992. The foster dad, Al, was still alive. I remember the exact outfit I wore. It was a blue shirt and blue and white flower shorts that matched with it. And the foster mom got mad and yelled at me and punished me just for catching my period. I'm like, well, it ain't I just didn't understand, and she, snatched me out of school for the day and took me to fake Walmart and going to this store, going to that store. But then we were 9 years old in 4th grade, and my twin sister called hers, and the foster mom clapped and applauded her and, congratulated and everything, but I didn't get that treatment. And I was wondering, what did I do so wrong? And if I have menstrual cramps, psychiatric medication intensifies menstrual cramps, plus certain foods that you eat. So, and the foster mom would think I should, she'll get mad and I have to hear a vicious, angry lecture. And she said, and I'm not let me tell you something, Candy, and I'm not coming get you. So I have to stay in school with an excruciating stomach ache all day, every day, on the days of my menstruation. I'm sorry for telling TMI, but this is what I had to experience and what I had to go through. The foster mom wouldn't do her birth kids that. And if I had children, I wouldn't treat my kids like that. Every day I even be like, why I couldn't get to, be a mother and get married and have kids. People want to make sure I'm the eugenics victim, that, I couldn't carry on any offspring. I can have siblings and other family members, but why does my everything has to stop at me? That I'm not allowed to have society. God didn't say Candy Grandpre is not allowed to have kids. God didn't say Candy Grandpre should never drive cars. That's narcissistic abusers who are Masonic sellouts who work for Satan, who think they're God. And Luciferian, y'all the ones who saying, I have no business driving. I have no business being, have no business being on the road. But they sit there and drive 90 miles per hour and looking straight at their phone and speeding and I'm like, have me feeling unsafe in the car with them. And I'm like, well, if you're a gang stalker, they're willing to take this risk to cause another trauma-based mind control towards me. And then the family members will give this jealous look at me driving carefully, or for me to follow. Well, I'm the only one who's I'm expected to follow the book on how to drive, but then, they want to act like they want to try to manipulate me and try to make a fool out of me and bully, harass, and laugh at me. Like when I newly got my driver's license, the biological sister Ramona, with a deceitful looking smile on her face, is like, yeah, I bet you go the speed limit, huh? But then if I were to speed, they would condemn me for that. Or the people would act self-righteous. Now, when I came back to New Orleans, and in 2000, June 20th, 2017, and Then when I came back to New Orleans, it's like sometimes, I guess once I got settled in my actual place, my Section 8 home, um, I went to go get my license switched over. Hey, I don't think any of y'all are in New Orleans, but if you're living in New Orleans metro area, do not ever, and they've been gang stalking me even when I was 17 years old. Do not ever go to the DMV at 2150 West Bank Expressway in Harbin, Louisiana, across the street from my high school, West Jeff. Don't ever go there if y'all, if you're in New Orleans. So you get a little more respect. I mean, see, because you go over there and they're very abusive and play all kinds of mind games. So you either go to West Wego or go to Metairie off of Veterans. Go there. But I don't think anybody in New Orleans is, actually watch. Maybe they are, watching my channel, But something about that 2150 West Bank Expressway, something's wrong with those people. And heavy perp activity, heavy abuse. But guess what? I didn't realize that it's part of the gang stalking. That whenever I go to the DMV or whenever I got to go to the Social Security office or something like that, what happens is I can show up at 7:30 in the morning, make open at 8, and then leave me sitting there waiting and for a long time, and then waiting for hours, and then you know how they said, especially at the Social Security office, that just because you sign in before somebody doesn't mean that you're going to be called before them. So they take advantage of that, and they always have me waiting for like 4 hours or 5 hours, and I'm sitting there waiting. One of the first people to get in, and other people in line before me. I'm sorry. Other people in line after me, come in like 2 hours after me, and then get served before me. And then I'm just sitting there waiting, and then I have to wait. Hold on, I'm gonna get me some water. And I gotta they forced me to wait until after their lunch break. Like if they have from 12 to 1 a lunch break, then I'm like, damn, so while they're on their lunch break, I have to wait until after 1 o'clock to be served. And then be treated with all kinds of just abuse. Enough to treat it, oppressed and abused, and treat it in a way where they'll try to set you up. Like even the security guards, the Masonic fake security guards who go around raping people, they'll be the type of person who try to set you up. I mean, they're in on trying to get you set up so that that the moment you show any show that you're about to cry or something like that, then the moment you show that you're about to cry, they feel threatened by that and over exaggerate and try to make it like as if you're a freaking terrorist. But they're the ones who get in the attitude to get rude with you and stuff like that. So, I even hate going to the Social Security office, dealing with those people. They play all kinds of psychological games, psych games, and try to provoke, unnecessarily just try to provoke you to get angry. I never been banned from Social Security office, but they'll because you get banned from one Social Security office, they'll make sure you're banned from every office. And they had an illegal Mexican lady there in New Orleans in 2017, and she caused me to she act like she was abusive and rude for no reason, had an unnecessary just fucking attitude. And then she was rude first, and she acted like she felt threatened by me standing up. And then, me handing her papers, she tried to act like she was just threatened, but being abusive and rude as fuck. And I said, well, why you talking to me like this? Why you getting an attitude with me like that? And that's when, the security guards wanting to haul me off. And then I end up having a emotional meltdown and crying. And then they said, well, you can come back the next day. And I came back the next day, and the security guards try to treat me like a retarded baby and be like, you're gonna so are we gonna be crying today? I'm like, come on, I'm not a fucking child. Adults have a right to cry too and be angry too. I just couldn't picture myself treating people like that. I just couldn't. And people have speculated for quite a few years about the possibility of me having autism or Asperger's syndrome. And when I tried to get tested in 2019, that was a major setup and a total fake psychologist. So I haven't had a proper diagnosis. Some people say that my hypersensitive ears have something to do with, autism and me being the way I am. They speculate if I have any level of autism. But even in my kindergarten class, or they say that I appear to be very bright. And people nowadays, narcissistic abusers, they'll be like, they cut their eyes and be like, you are highly intelligent. So they tell me, you are highly intelligent. But then they treat me like I don't have a lick of sense, but telling me I'm highly intelligent the whole time. I'm 37 years old. And the biological gay brother Mark, he act like he think he has the authority to restrict me from drinking alcohol, while he drinking alcohol and then drive with alcohol in his system. But then they'll be quick to want the whole world to know I'm a hypocrite. And the whole family, they do stuff and then tell me not to do it. But, I've had my few moments here and there where I've, done that too. But me trying to be a better Christian, and it's like I try to not do things like that anymore. But because of my strange mind, when I was 9 years old, and even kids and adults, I used to be like, don't sing. I didn't want them to sing. Maybe because of a traumatic incident that happened to me when I was 2 years old and I was singing. And I didn't realize the foster sister, Joni Lejeune Felder, was only 6 years old and a child herself. But she said that I deserve. We didn't know any better. I didn't know any better. She was too young to know any better. But she was trying to make like, that's what you get. That's another way of saying you deserve it. And I thought I remember just sitting down singing. And I don't remember what song I was singing, but I just remember I was singing. So, it's like, I realized me and my twin sister are more similar or more alike than I thought. I guess you see more similarities when we're not getting along. But the foster sister Joni said that, I don't remember if she said that I was trying to do somersaults or cartwheels or if I was, jumping on the sofa or something she said I did. But I have no recollection of I'm sorry. I don't have any I don't know why I started laughing. But I don't have any recollection of whatever jumping or doing somersaults or anything like that. But I do remember just singing. And then boom, some kind of way, I bust my head wide open. And I had to get 6 stitches in my head. And this part, like up in the back part of here, I can feel a small, tiny little hole, like a little dent right here. And it used to hurt at one point, but it doesn't hurt right now. And so I was my only little monkey, not the 5 little monkeys. I don't know why I'm uncontrollably laughing about that happening to me. Um, but then I don't remember what hospital it was, but the foster mom took me to the hospital. But before taking me to the hospital, this evil bitch, what she did was, why would she do this? If you in your 40s, well, I don't know. Let's see. She could have been, no, she wasn't in her 40s yet. Because I was 7 years old and she was 42. So if you're in your late 30s, like maybe my age, she could have been like 37 years old. And what she did was, I remember this. I remember this part. The actual injury, I don't remember what it was, but the bloody injury, she took that exact area and took something. I don't think it was a hairbrush or anything, but something she took. And she scrubbed my head as deep and hard as she could. I don't know why she did that to me. I don't know why she did that to me. But, then when I was 7 years old in second grade, one of my favorite songs at the time was Michelle's song, Something in My Heart. And I don't know if any of you black folks remember that song. Something in my heart. I can't even sing, and I won't try to sing. So I ended up catching scarlet fever. So if I had scarlet fever, I didn't know I was a kid. But I'm pretty sure it was a different. But I thought I remember also that the scarlet fever was because Mark bragged about, like, sibling rivalry and, jealousy and bullying and stuff. It's like as if Mark was perping me and I was 7 years old. Mark was brutally abusive towards me. And he was still underage himself. But then, the biological sister Ramona said that Mark was abused by some foster parent in Milwaukee. But Ramona likes to live in fantasy land and falsely assume that everything is good and positive, and she denies anything negative while she goes around doing people just dirty. But I mean, it's been the talk of the family. Even the biological brother Pete said that Ramona was treated pretty good, or treated with favoritism, because that was Francis and Arthur, their first child together that's light skinned. So, Ramona tried to make like her life was all great and telling me that, like, rubbing it in my face about this white foster family in Milwaukee. This white foster family taking her camping and stuff like that. And, having all this fun or whatever. But I heard it was the talk of the family that the reason why Mark walks with a cripple, because I think I heard like some foster parent would push Mark down the stairs when he was 3 years old, and then that's why he walked with a cripple. But then Ramona tried to cover it up and lie and say that Mark was born like that. But Mark doesn't really. Mark is like Ramona by trying to make like, oh, I don't want to discuss or talk about anything negative or anything about the past. But then Narcissistic abusers always try to talk about, oh, you always bring up something negative or bring up something from the past, or stop bringing up the past. But then they use past stuff against you and throw it in your face at their own convenience. Their self-licensed hypocrisy. So, Ramona, wait, hold on. Ramona wait till after Belinda dies to talk about how close they were. And I'm like, why the hell was she so jealous and envious of us? If she tried to wait till after Belinda died to rub it in our face that her and Belinda were so close and everything. So, excuse me. Sorry. But I mean, if she loved Belinda the way she acts, like the way she tries to put on this image, like her and Belinda were so close and love each other. But I don't even know if she abused and took advantage of Belinda and did Belinda dirty. I don't know, like she did us. So it's like, I'm feeling disappointed. I can't believe that freaking fly ruined my hair. So then it's like all my hair being damaged and dried out and hard to comb, and like you can't even revive. Coconut oil won't even revive it. But anyway, so I mean, they seem like they experienced some early. Ramona tried to cover it up like life was good, but she said that they separated her and Belinda and that they wanted to see each other at every opportunity. But Ramona's old enough to be our parents. I mean, our mom, but it's like extreme, like her being extremely jealous of me and my twin sister. But I don't know which of any of the brothers she was jealous of. But Mark and Wyatt are like this, and she's cool with Dirty Derek. But I think her and Pete argue and fuss sometimes, and she will argue and fuss, have heated arguments with her own kids. But then 5 minutes later, they love each other. But guess what? I haven't contacted Ramona since 2018, since that incident. Ramona is a perp who has never been a TI, never been targeted. Never been gang stalked. But growing up in foster care, me and Brandy had, persecution. I question whether or not Sean is a targeted individual. I thought Wyatt seemed like the type of person who would have been one, but nah, he be perping people. But I mean, none of my family, they think it's crazy and just bullshit. The kind of stuff I'm on, that, not everybody's into what you're into. But they like to put on an image in front like they're great people. But back to when I was 7 years old, and yeah, Mark bragged about and laughed about putting cayenne pepper in my food, and the food was too hot and I cried. And the food was too spicy and too hot and I cried. And then he ignorantly laughed. And then they'll get mad and give you the silent treatment, act like they think they have the authority to punish you with the silent treatment because they're mad because you got them in trouble, rightfully so. And I think I talked about this also when I was 7 years old as well. And Mark purposely burned my leg. And the foster dad, Al, defended him, saying it was an accident. But Mark purposely burned my leg with super hot water. And I still have the scars. So, it was said that, the scarlet fever was the reason that cayenne pepper incident seemed like was, how I ended up, with scarlet fever. But I don't know, because I had scarlet fever and strep throat at 7 years old. And so they said that if you have strep throat by the time you're 7 years old, I don't know if my twin sister had strep throat, but I know I did. And they said if you had strep throat by the time you're 7 years old, we had all kinds of sicknesses and illnesses being little. So I don't know why people would falsely accuse you of being a hypochondriac nowadays, or just begging for attention, thirsty for attention, which is not true. But that's their smear campaign to cover everything up, the direct or energy weapons or whatever harm and abuse that they're doing. They'll try to falsely make it like the hospital incident with my chest pains. I know that they were real, but they'll try to make it like as if everything's great. That's all they told me. But in New Orleans, they'd be like, well, wow, you've had me going 18 days with no shut eye sleep at all, and then be told, wow, you had the best EKG we've seen all day. But how is that possible if 18 days, and this happened twice, 18 days with no sleep at all. And having like maybe a few second micro sleeps like a drunk person or something like that. Because I read about the, the micro sleeps you will have when sleep deprived. But I didn't know that not having sleep that is compared to being drunk. Because I'm pretty sure in 2006, going to UNO, and I had my own car, and that was my dream, to have a nice, beautiful new SUV back then, years ago. But I'm saying, like, if my mindset back then was what it is now, and I didn't know the truth, my dream car, don't try to call me, my dream car, I'm going to block that number too. My dream car, well, I don't even know. Because I'm not ready to get into an argument with nobody. But my dream car, my dream SUV would have been, my dream SUV would have been, a purple Navigator or a purple Cadillac XT5 or, something else different. And, and I used to wish for a 3-story house with an indoor pool and jacuzzi, and also something else I don't remember. But yeah, but nowadays my dream is like, all I want, I didn't care if I just had that tiny little cottage, the tiny little cottage, 1-bedroom cottage, the 1-bedroom little cottage. And, I would be thankful and grateful for that, I no longer dream big like I used to. But narcissistic abusers who drive around in the freshest and nicest vehicles, they're the ones tell you shut up with that bullshit about wanting a navigator or something like that. While they driving a freaking Porsche. And even my own twin sister used to tell me that, you know, she would even try to tell me that she thought that the foster mom was, jealous of us. Jealous of us, jealous that we would, get ahead of her or be greater than her. And she even told me times when if me and her got together, we could well, I don't dream big like that, but she felt like we could have taken over the whole world. But she even recognized that the reason why we don't, that was her just calling right now. She got a different number. But I just not mentally ready for more narcissistic abuse and bullying and gaslighting and manipulation, and then her reverse and lie and convince everybody that I'm doing all those things to her. But after what she's been doing, at least as of last week, I don't think that she's, she always, had her nose turned up. Because they put that in her head to brainwash her to think she was that far much better than I am. Like, and me feeling psychologically and mentally beat down, like as if I'm the worst person in the world. And, I'm tired of walking around being fearful and quiet about everything. And having no outlet to express myself, and then being forced to hold in all these emotions like blowing air into a balloon, and then me end up having an outburst or a meltdown. And then, she contacted me with, I didn't know because I was finally asleep, so I didn't know until hours later. I didn't know until hours later that, that she called me. Like, who the hell would do a conference call with an argument, wake up at 6 o'clock in the morning and do a conference call with an argument? And then hollering and screaming. I get kicked out of here. I get banned from here. So I don't want to be doing no hollering and screaming at 5:30, 6 o'clock in the morning. It would be the biggest miracle in the world for her to tell me that it would be the biggest miracle in the world for her to come to me begging for the truth. And I never did think I was superior or better. I was just sharing it with them. But, they are highly offended and think I'm just talking crazy talk, or I'm on some other shit. That's how they put it. The internet, the social media slang that they like to do. But I don't know why she's trying to contact me now. That she wants to bully me and always feel the need to prove something. So, I would love to talk, but I'm just, don't know what her motive is right now. Now, I thought she was too good to ever talk to me. I thought that she thought that she was too good to ever talk to me because I had to kiss her ass and call her. Like, you're too good to even think about me. Think about me. But she will walk around with a proud face and brag and be glad about, using and taking advantage of me, my money years ago. And she pats herself on the back for, bragging about never paying me back or never spending a penny on me. Or she will lie about things that she did to me, or she would pick an argument when she tried to use me out of money and then brainwash the other family members to take advantage of my money. And me tell the mental health counselors about it, and they call me a fool. And I'm paying the counselor to be like verbally abused for when they say I allowed me being verbally and psychologically and mentally abused by the mental health counselor, because they say that I allowed myself. They condemn and judge me and say that I allowed myself, to be taken advantage of by my own. And I put myself in a position that I allow myself to be taken advantage of by my own twin sister. But I'm supposed to be defenseless, because when I try to fight back, then, I get told that, here come the jail threats and threats to get locked up in a mental institution. And then the rest of the family followed suit. But, her narcissistic rage, I'm just not mentally able to deal with that right now. And I know she's trying whatever she can to try to silence me from talking. And I'm, trying to practice to not even be scared of her anymore. Like, yeah, I was scared of her. Defenseless and scared. But, she has her moments when narcissistic abuse is more powerful than her and seen by society as mentally normal. Even if they're younger than her, she'll be defenseless and scared and then back down. Defenseless, scared, and obedient, and then back down. But she feel like her and other people too, feel like they got nothing to lose when it comes to me. All of my family members, it's like they pat themselves on the back for using me out of all this money and taking advantage of me. And then, proud to never pay me back or never make sure they never do shit for me when I've done just too much for this family. And then certain things that I, if I want to cook for the family, it's like they think they're too good to eat my cooking, But my own twin sister, whatever food she cooks gets praised. So, I mean, if like my drunk Aunt Yvonne in 2018, she get hateful and she got mad and screamed at me and went off on me and like I did something wrong and said that you give too much. And then the biological sister Ramona, who's actually a user, she just wants to, for show and for an act, just copy off of Yvonne. She was always accepting of any gifts or anything I gave her, but never said thank you, never said I love you, or none of that, or never said I really appreciate it. But in 2005, before Hurricane Katrina, Wyatt was saying, like, he was saying, Ramona using the shit out of Candy. Ramona using the shit out of Candy. Ramona using the shit out of Candy. Hey, Blake. Talking about our cousin Blake who died, but he was still alive then. But Wyatt would be like, hey, Blake, Ramona using the shit out of Candy. But Wyatt was also using the shit out of me. Them using and taking advantage of my student loan money, and I'm in all this debt right now. And me, because of foster care abuse and other abuse in the environment and stuff, me having difficulty and fear of standing up to them or fear of saying no. And like, even if I fight back, they still have criminally, illegally, and undeservingly have the upper hand over me. It's always their go-to is to have threats to lock me up in a mental institution, or have threats to make jail threats, or they'll try to use violence. Even my own twin sister will try to put their hands on me and try to use violence to control me. And then when the police get called, they play victim and then lie and say that I hit them first. So I'm still feeling kind of mildly feeling that sleep deprived feeling. But I just wanted to only do about 10 minutes of this video. But the other video on my phone It seems like it's gonna upload before this one. 73 minutes remaining. If I was at the library, both of these videos would have been uploaded like within less than 20 minutes. So yeah, I did a video saying that if I'm not a targeted individual, then why am I under police surveillance? And I have in the description box of that, I have my usual stuff, plus I have video evidence of Alex telling me straight up, police got you under surveillance. But then I hated that. I think they used the energy weapons you have to turn your speakers up really high. And then it was clouded by the wind. I'm like, I got mad because you couldn't hear it. Because I think they waited till around then to freaking cover it up with the strong, heavy wind in that video. But if you turn your computer or phone speakers at the loudest volume, you can hear him say, police got you under surveillance. Police got me under surveillance for what? As I said, if I'm a criminal, lock me up now. What am I under surveillance for? Because my twin sister or other family members could not handle, and I almost couldn't do it. They could not handle what I have to deal with, what I'm going through. And then for me to be one of the real ones who've been constantly discredited, and everybody, like, I'm talking too much, and everybody want me to shut up. Just like they felt like Raz B from B2K, talking too much. People say Jaguar right, talk too much. So I'm tired of even other family members who act like they think they got high authority and rulership over me. And I know Ramona put stuff in her own kid's head, especially Hellface Ugly Monica, to treat me like as if I'm so fucking retarded. But then they order me around and tell me what to do and police and control my life decisions. But then they want nothing to do with me. They hate me so much that I'm not allowed to know their address or phone number. Not allowed to contact them. That they're that much higher and better than me. So y'all might not know about Freemasonry, the Illuminati, New World Order, and all that. But my biological dad, Arthur, the man who they try to say is not our dad because we're not light-skinned like him. Bitch, learn your damn genetics. Because you're not saying that Ramona doesn't belong to Francis because she's not brown-skinned like her. So it's like, off my dad's side, my half-sister, yeah, that's my half-sister, Yolanda, has a daughter named Brittany. And when Arthur was, like, when I first, because my twin sister secretly met reunited with and met certain, the biological family before I did. And so Yolanda wants nothing to do with us because she was brainwashed. I don't know from who, but she was a child and she was brainwashed to hate our biological mom, Frances. And so she hated our other sister, our sister Ramona and all them. And like our half-sister Yolanda and Samietta, they don't talk to Ramona. They don't talk to us. I never met Samuetta in person, but I met Yolanda a couple of times. So if Ramona tried to play that game, oh, Arthur's not your daddy because you're not light-skinned like him. Well, why you bring me over to Yolanda's house and stuff? Why you bring me over? Why you show me pictures of Arthur's side of the family? They have some uh relatives that I still both sides that Ramona try to keep me from. That I'm like, well, I got some relatives that I still don't know, and that they try to block me from contacting them. I mean, I didn't know until 2000. Wait, hold on. It was almost 2017. It was for Blake's funeral, and I think it was the next day. I think it was that our Aunt Carolyn, off of Arthur's side, she reminded me so much of the foster mom and her sister Dana, more like Dana. And so there was a point in time they call her Aunt. Well, they say Aunt Carrie. In New Orleans they say Aunt and not Aunt. Well, I'm gonna say Aunt Carrie. There was a point in time she was trying to, me and her, almost started to connect. And I even told her about the daddy. Yeah, I told my aunt. I told her about the daddy issue. Brandy even told me that I had the same kind of head like her. And certain people have told me I do have a head like Arthur. So, if we Creole, I mean, it is what it is. If we Creole, we Creole. No, but nobody objects to Blue Ivy in the sibling, like, because her Beyonce is Creole. Blue Ivy and them, they can be called Creole. But I'm a true Creole. My dad is definitely Creole. But my mom is Black and Native American. What was, when they were alive. So sometimes even if you have a Black parent, like Jay-Z is considered Black. And I don't know I don't think he's mixed, maybe somewhere down the line. But how come Blue Ivy can be called Creole? And that's not taken away from being called Black, because Creoles call themselves Black. But people want to devour me and attack me for saying that I'm Creole or that I'm mixed. You Creole, you are mixed. But look at people like Alicia Keys and Faith Evans. Even Mariah Carey is seen by society as Black. But she's mixed too. But I ain't Mariah Carey kind of mixed, but I'm, Creole or mixed. From what I know, Black, French, and Native American. But I was told, don't go take the genetics test like the Ancestry.com or 123andMe, because I heard that, I was going to do it too. Because I've been curious for years about, what am I mixed with? And so I heard that those tests people are paying for those tests. I heard those tests aren't even real. But I heard the results aren't real. Just like the COVID tests aren't real. So, but I think that my Aunt Carrie, when I gave her my twin sister's phone number, now we all family. So I don't know why my Aunt Carrie got hateful and just cut off all contact with me when I gave her my twin sister's phone number. I gave my twin sister her phone number. We all family. But then my Aunt Carrie, she talked like she was woke to the truth and spoke out against the Illuminati and New World Order. How corrupted our food is. She even, was telling me, she knew about the idea that, food is killing us and stuff like that. So, but then she joined the fake Jehovah's Witnesses cult and, cut off all contact with me. So then, well, I want to say, I just looked like a couple of weeks ago, I realized that we had an uncle that died that I didn't even know who he existed. One of Arthur's brothers. And he looked just like Mark. Just like Mark. I think his name was Roland Raymond or something like that. And he just died a few months ago. You think the family called me up and told me? Hell no. So I just looked up online because I was trying to find the obituary of my Aunt Marie. who's Arthur's sister who passed away. Uh, but lo and behold, my half sister Yolanda's daughter Brittany, has a successful salon with like a successful business and Masonic checkerboard pattern. And like I heard that Brittany got all this not fame, but she got all this success after she got all this success after Arthur died, and so Yolanda and them had a way to take all the money, and so Mark and Ramona are bitter towards Yolanda for taking all the money, but they're not when the biological brother Derek, when Derek took all the money when the biological mom Frances died, they got mad at him, but they forgave him and they're not bitter towards him no more, but they still be like, yeah, no bitch Yolanda, whatever. So and I even question, they're like, oh, that is just over. Like, that's how narcissistic abusers, how they respond. But this mentally slow, crazy biological family, they are freaking like retarded narcissistic abusers. They ain't mentally got it all themselves. They ain't mentally normal themselves, but they try to call me retarded. And Hellface Ugly Monica is, a narcissistic. I never in my life, and that's my own niece, and I never in my life saw anybody so fucking conceited in my life. Ever. Never saw somebody so highly conceited. And freaking New Orleans people, ignorant project ghetto New Orleans people, who delusionally believe they're a hardcore thug, they act like as if, they act like as if skin color is supposed to define their personality. So, before, like, when we first got back to the biological family after we turned 18, Ramona was like, oh yeah, we all supposed to come into a lot of money when our dad, Arthur, when he dies, since he was in the military. But the foster mom thought she had the authority to confiscate, but no, wasn't legal confiscation, but it was stealing. She stole my Social Security back pay check and my trust fund check from after I got out of foster care, plus my independent living back pay money, $400. Plus, she was taking my checks when I was working at Popeyes. We were forced to hand over our money. All of our money handed over to her. And her and the social worker, Miss Karen Pierce, they cleverly teamed up together to create bank accounts, with both them and us, since we were still minors. So the banks try to argue us that was the foster mom, the banks try to argue us that was the foster mom's money. I'm like, no, after we turn 18, I'm like, hell no, that's my money. So, I don't know if Regions Bank is still in existence, but I felt bitter and angry towards those people. And then every time I go to the bank, they will be extremely rude and mean. So, I think it was before Hurricane Katrina, but I don't remember what year. I had like 2 bank accounts. So, I took it upon myself and transferred my bank to Hibernia. Because I hated everything associated with Regions Bank. After that situation, the foster mom stole thousands of dollars. But then my twin sister kind of like, I don't remember exactly what she did, but she some kind of way threatened the bank and they gave her all her money. But they refused to give me my money, saying it was the foster mom's money. But that was my money after we turned 18. And the foster mom was already rich and driving around BMWs, and we didn't have anything, and she did this to us. But she manipulated us into trusting her as better than perfect and higher than God. And the number one person on the face of this earth to trust. It's a different kind of perspective when you're brainwashed to believe somebody's good and then kind of find out how wicked and low down they are. And then they bully, harass. When you expose the truth about them, then they try to bully, harass, and lecture you and point in your face like, and you're very low down, tell you how low down you are when you expose the truth about their dirty deeds. But we all knew the foster mom Ann was mean. But I didn't know she was a witch. That's why, I mean, people had their making like as if if I were to go to write an which I thought about writing an autobiography, but I kind of switched my mind about it. But I don't know, I might. But excuse me, everybody want to exercise their so-called right to sue me. And some people are like, well, why don't you just put it into fiction? Well, they're going to know who I'm talking about. People going to know who I'm talking about because I already do videos talking about them. So, I mean, if I were to write an autobiography, I wouldn't want to try to sell it and make money off of it. So that's why I'm just doing YouTube videos, just talking, about my experiences. Not just telling all my business. That's not my intent. But, I'm telling a lot of stuff. And this is also therapy for me and helping me feel better. Stuff that a therapist wouldn't want to hear. Now, you paying a therapist and they shut you out. Because the mental health therapists, they dog you out and take your money and oppress and perp you. And you're supposed to have 50 minutes. I'm supposed to have 50 minutes to talk to a therapist. And I pay, with my disabled, not no more, but when I was living in Denton, Texas. I think I remember, I don't even remember, I think I was paying, I had like a discounted rate of like $15 a week. Or something like that. But at one point, I was forced to pay like $75 a week for counseling. And it never helped me feel better. That the counselors always agreed with and defended the oppressors and abusers and blamed the victim. And I'm like, what am I paying to come here for? And so, it's like, the idea that even mental health counselors, this is what they did. I would have scheduled 50 minutes, and then 50 minutes, 50 minutes, would be cut short. Like, they would force me to wait a whole 45 minutes, and then wait till, 45 minutes after this. If my appointment is at 4 o'clock, they leave me hanging until 4:45, and then come and get me, and then I talk for less than 5 minutes, and then they're rushing me out of the office. So, me feeling robbed, and then them telling me perp stuff and oppressive stuff, and making me I'm like, why? I'm saying, like, even the mental health counselors, like, you pay them to go there to, think they're supposed to solve your problems. Come to find out, I don't even know why there are, secular counselors, and they can't even solve their own problems. I just came across, I think it was a website article saying that psychiatrists can't even solve people's problems, and they're being burnt out because of the COVID-19 pandemic. They're being burnt out and need help themselves. Now, the biological mom, for instance, when she was alive, I was really confused that she told me that psychiatrists sometimes need a psychiatrist. And I'm like, what you mean by that? But I heard that those kinds of jobs is just nothing but a paid act. Because you wonder how court judges. Oh, at 73 degrees. Oh, I started to get a little overheated because I was trying to vent the after I sprayed the alcohol in here, I was trying to vent it out and stuff. So I think I'm all right. I'm fine. So what was I saying? Oh, I got off topic. Oh yeah, the biological mind Francis says sometimes psychiatrists need a psychiatrist. And so, but the only good thing, two good things the biological mind Francis has ever done for me was gave me a $5 Rockaware shirt. And she treated me out to go, I mean, one year, and then, the woman who gave birth to you, not even acknowledging your birthday. Well, her posthumous birthday just passed on the 11th, 4 days ago. And I mentioned that in my videos, So, she, once in 2007 or 2008, she treated me to Golden Corral. But I was mostly, like, even after we turned 18, I'm just wondering, like, she never, mostly, not 100%, but I just named a couple of things she did, but mostly she never really did anything for us. But she did way too much for the biological gay brother Mark because of his skin color. And, like, was not shy about, the favoritism and creating jealousy between us. And they try to say that the biological mom, Frances, had a mental problem. And they said we're crazy and stuff like that. But she had a lot of kids. And I'm wondering what did they do to her to make her a certain way. But at moments, she was acting like she was perping me too. So, and didn't want to see me get ahead or succeed or would talk down to me and stuff like that. And the biological mom, Frances, I'm not mocking or making fun. I'm just demonstrating how she would be like, well, she'd be like, well, you don't deserve to drive. You heard me? Or something like that. Or you don't belong to drive. You heard me? And she would say, like New Orleans, people say, you heard me after every sentence. But she would say, you heard me after every sentence. You heard me? And I remember the biological mom, Frances, said, well, why? We don't want no Rebecca Jr. Her eyes widened when she said, why? We don't want no Rebecca Jr. You heard me? And they got out the car, and I busted out laughing. Because my cousin, whore Rebecca, she was like 14 years old, and it was the talk of the family that everybody said she was hot. Promiscuous and slutty at 14 years old. Or fast. And, sleeping around at 14 years old. And the biological mom, Frances, was like, well, why? We don't want no Rebecca Jr. You heard me? And then got out the car. My car. So, it's like, I don't know, it seemed like the idea that she perked me too, but I also suspect that she's been targeted. Or maybe she was targeted and then became a perp. I don't know. But, before Katrina, I thought the whole family was poor, the biological family. And the foster mom, if any I don't think I'm a narcissist. But if any narcissism in me left, because I try to undo and reprogram, as many things as possible as the foster mom taught us. She taught us the wrong way to live and did not train us up in the way we should go. So the fact that the foster mom, had a weird way of raising us. Didn't really raise us, but wants to take the brownie points for raising us. They said the state was our guardian, not the foster parent. And Mark said, like the foster mom and them and foster sister Shelley, they ignorantly laughed because, you know, they said that Mark mentioned about, oh yeah, I want to, sue the state for treating me like a piece of meat in foster care. But I would make threats to. I mean, I didn't know how to go about doing it, but if I had a way, I would have done it. And then some people said everything was too far past. I would, try to find a way to sue the foster mom for stealing all my money. And she would mock me and be like, "Yeah, I've been stealing from you since, you know, I've been stealing for like however old I am. So if I'm 37 years old and me and her got into an argument, yeah, mocking me, being like, yeah, I've been stealing from you for 37 years. When I would confront her about, stealing my money and act like she thinks she got the authority to confiscate it. So and the fact that and the foster mom had me blackballed before I can even start work. And then my first job at 17 years old, having to deal with severe workplace mobbing. But they kept, holding off on hiring me so that they can have the gang stalking. And I didn't realize that at 17 years old in the year 2000 and 2001 that I was being, a targeted individual gang stalk. But guess when I got hired, y'all? They made it a point to have me hired September 11th, 2000, my senior year in high school. And then on a foster grandma, Mildred Collins, her posthumous birthday, the foster grandma, Mildred Collins, her birthday, January 5th. And it was her birthday, I guess 3 years after she died, well, no, 2.5, like over 2 years since she died. And me still grieving. And so she, the foster grandma's birthday, was when, they set it up to have me wrongfully fired. But my twin sister got her first job like that. No struggle, no hesitation, none of that. But it was so much, and my twin sister pretty much had a great, from what I knew, people weren't really, like her coworkers weren't really bothering her. Like she wasn't having hell like I was. But I didn't, I think I had a few nice coworkers, but maybe a couple of them, but the majority of them were perping, and plus all the managers, they were perping me, and they did me just fucked up, very fucked. Like I'm underage, and you exploiting me and cheating me out of my money. Don't give a fuck. And you trying to go home and tell the foster mom, she'll blow you off and don't want to hear it. But then when you discuss it at the mental health psychiatry, Dr. Chakraborty, the private psychiatrist, the foster mom be like, "Now this is the first time I'm hearing this." I'm like, "Well, I've been trying to tell you, no, you didn't, Candy, no, you, yes." And then argument in the psychiatrist's office. Some stuff. And then she'll say it in a gaslighting kind of way, because I've been trying to tell you, but you deliberately shut me off. And the psych games and abuse got worse after I turned 18. When I should have been, if that was just foster care, but they act like they want to save or protect me from homelessness. But don't call me. But the only way I want to talk is if you willing to hear the truth. I'm not taking no abuse. I mean, I might. So it's like, now I kind of lost my train of thought. But you know, and I didn't know. I thought it was just me. But another girl who was kind of like elevated. Her name was Crystal. I don't remember her last name. Well, I'm gonna try to protect her identity and by not mentioning her last name. I think I remember, but I'm not gonna say it. But she, years later, like 2018 or 19, when I was in New Orleans, my hometown, and I saw Crystal working, and me and her had like a brief discussion about Popeyes, and I didn't realize she was pretty much abused by the same guy as well. I thought I was the only victim. But I would be 17 years old and hear that gay, who was like a bisexual manager named Dwight. He had a wife and kids, but he would go inside, like he would make sexual advances at me. And when I refused his offers, he would get very abusive and try to force me against my will to scrub the walls as a punishment. And then, and he was somebody I was clearly not attracted to. Gross. And they had everything set up before I even started to work there. I wasn't even given a chance because I was brand new. You know how when people say, I mean, because it was my first day there and they only had me work 6 hours for the whole week, scheduled for 2 hours and making like they're training me. So then the first day, the lady that was supposed to be training me, she was like, oh yeah, I've been working here for 7 years and I love it. Well, I'm wondering, how the hell are you able to maintain a family, a home, a job, and all this? And you work at Popeyes full time, plus you driving a nice ass car. But, you know, even now, what being paid $10 an hour, if you work full time, and it's like you driving around in a beautiful new car, me and you make work. For example, me and you working the same amount. Like, how the hell are you able to afford a car and I can barely afford a roof over my head? What's missing here? Because you're a gang stalker. And don't try to falsely accuse me of being jealous. So, because y'all know what y'all doing. That's just like Gay-Z and Russell Simmons being like, we didn't sell our soul to the devil. We're not part of the Illuminati. They just hating on our success. Ha ha ha. And so, but yeah, the lady who trained me at Popeyes, she kept on telling me, like, before I even started, you know, the managers were already perping me and oppressing and abusing me and stuff, like psychologically and mentally and verbally, and had a strong hatred for me. And I'm just wondering, like, why? And they played all kinds of psychological and mental games. And, you know, there was a bisexual gay manager, a straight general manager. She was a straight lady. And then one of the other managers, it was three managers. The other manager was a hardcore butch man dyke named Chanel. So Dwight, I used to call him Darlene. I didn't know a female alternative for Dwight. Yeah, Dwight Harris. And then the other lady, the general manager, her name was Gloria Simmons. She was she was a perk too. But Dwight did me the dirtiest. That would be a separate video for me to talk about. I think I did do a video talking about what he did. Maybe. I don't know if I did a video on my other channel talking about, the abuse that happened to me my first job working at Popeyes. But then, people will be trying to perk me by telling me that Brandy got more sense than you. When she got more sense than me or more mature than me, because y'all trying to hint to me that she sell out. So, and now she thinks Like she's so much higher than me and superior. So now it's her and Wyatt been trying to get in contact with me. As long as y'all perping me, I can't be in contact with y'all. You're not gaining any intel on me and go back and run the Stars 15K and Alex and stuff like that. Or you want to look for another reason to get me committed to the mental institution so I can be blood sacrificed and killed so y'all can make bonuses, profit. So this is a damn witchcraft family. And they keep me in the dark, keep me ignorant. But you did me a favor. Because my reward is in heaven. But anyway. So the lady, I don't remember her name, but I remember her face vividly. The lady who trained me, she was just a co-worker, not any kind of manager or anything. But she kept on repeatedly on the first day, before I even started working, she would explain this and that to me. And then she kept repeatedly telling me, because you're slow. Because you're slow. Like repetitive, telling me, because you're slow. And I just stood there. You know, me being on those psych medications, you know, it didn't cross my mind to be like, you know, me being zombified on the psych medications. It didn't even cross my mind to be like, well, what do you mean I'm slow? And why you keep telling me, like, repetitive? It's because you're slow, because you're slow. And before I can even start working, before you can even see my performance. And so then I was wondering, you know, why I would ask for extra hours or wanting to work more. And then Miss Gloria kept on saying, it's your, you know how New Orleans people talk? They'd be like, it's your performance, not your performance, but just it's your performance, man. Like it's your performance, man. She said, it's your performance, man. Man, I'm sorry about that, man. You know, so one time this lady, Miss Gloria, the general manager, I had my hair like in a ponytail and my hair was long. And she was like, ah, you got good hair. I thought you had nappy hair. So I don't know, like, well, yeah, so, before, I'm almost done because, you know, I have to be cut off after 3 hours. But before I go, I want to say this. And then I'm going to try to work on my books. Try to work on my short stories and stuff. And I didn't even intend on doing 10 hours. I'm sorry. I intended to do only 10 minutes of a short, quick video. But then I ended up just talking for 3 hours. Excuse me, close to 3 hours. So I have a right to do long videos if I want to, and y'all don't have to listen to me. But shame on y'all for not being supportive. But I don't know why people think like if you speak too much truth, you're wrong for talking too much or running your mouth too much. Like you're supposed to stay quiet and not expose evil. But I'm not allowed to expose my own evil, but my own victimization of evil, but I'm supposed to be expected to report it. And then people, like, if I have to be eyewitness to another person's situation, I'm expected to speak up and say something. Like, if I witness another person being raped, I have to be considered an accessory to a crime and go to jail. This never happened, but like I would have to be considered an accessory to a crime if I heard the rape or if I saw the rape and I didn't call the police or I didn't say anything. But if I speak about my own rape, I get the police laugh in your face and, you know, don't believe you and stuff and make you feel worse. So nearly all the bully fag cops are narcissistic abusers who are highly narcissistic and they're like sociopath. Some of them psychopath. But then Um, you know, the only like police officers with a heart, with empathy and sympathy, they don't last long. And then I hate when, well, like people try to say the only good cop is a dead cop. Like people try to say the only good Indian, Native American Indian, the only good Indian is a dead Indian. I heard they used to say that back then. So that's part of eugenics right there. So I'm feeling sad that I can't reproduce and have, like, you know, me bearing seed and, reproducing and having kids and then having grandkids and then great grandkids. It's like everything stops at me. And it's like, what did I do to deserve this? Because I wanted to get married and have kids. But now I feel like I'm 37 years old, and plus the times we're in, I feel like it's too late. I'm no longer interested in wanting to get married or have kids. Plus, I don't want to be married to the wrong kind of man. I mean, somebody who's going to plummet their fist into my face because I breathe a certain way that they don't like. So I thought about just doing a quick video for 10 minutes, but here I'm just talking for 3 hours. But I'm still planning to write this afternoon. And I'm still planning to write. And so I felt like I wish I could stay here longer than the 27th or something like that. And then I can write more. But then my money will run out. I might have to leave before the 27th and be back on the streets. But I don't want people like offering me a deal to sell out. Why can't people just allow me to be normal? Like, why can't I just get my own normal job? But I know why. I know why. It's a spiritual battle. Battle for your soul. That's why nothing makes sense nowadays. And then you telling me the truth. I mean, me telling you the truth, I'm the one that's not making sense. But it was something I was supposed to say before I left, but it slipped my mind and went off. But, I just hate people to just watch my videos and act like this is not entertainment. This is serious and real. But y'all are devoid of any conscience. That's why this shit is funny to y'all. And I'm serious. I'm dead serious. I am serious. So, people think another human being's life is to play with, but you want to take extra care of your car, your plants, your pets. But another human being's life being destroyed, that's funny to y'all. But if I threw bleach on your aloe plant, y'all will have a freaking seizure. But I don't do cruel stuff like that. And I can't do something like that and get away with it. I don't get away. Candy Grandpre does not get away with nothing. Well, let me say the proper English way. Candy Grandpre does not get away with anything. So, I'm glad I got this little therapy out. Y'all don't have to watch this if you don't want to. But if you stood the whole 3 hours, I appreciate it. I love you and thank you. It means so much. So, I gotta go now. Bye. I love y'all.